Hey, welcome back to Valhalla Games. This is game 2 of our campaign centered around mainland Italy and the advance of the 1st Airborne Division up mainland Italy, fighting against the collapsing withdrawal of the German 1st Fallschirmjäger Division. This one here is we've moved on, and this game is going to be meeting engagement based around the town of Mottola, as the last scenario where the British Airborne 156 Parachute Battalion ran into the initial elements and initial resistance of the German Fallschirmjäger. They've now moved into the outskirts of the city. So, a little bit about Mottola itself to give you some context. So Mottola is a town of religious significance and had a number of religious sites, including some monasteries, hermitages, and a number of churches and cathedrals as well. So that's why even on the outskirts of the city, as this board is set up to represent, we have a large proportion of religious sites of significance as well, with the church and the hermitage there, and also shrines coming into the town as well. So what we've decided for this scenario, specific terrain rules, the forests, this one here, the mature olive grove there, and the wooded area behind the church itself. We'll be following the normal rules in the rulebook for non-dense forests. The vineyards here will be as per the first game, so if you're moving down the rows of the vines, there's no penalty movement. However, if you're moving across the vines and across the hedges surrounding the outside, then it is normal obstacle rules. This stripwood over here is not dense, therefore will be no penalty to movement and or fire into or out of it. We have sections around here of collapsed walls from previous bombardments before 156 Parachute Battalion went in, aerial bombardments and so on. So those will be counted as rough terrain for movement, running and advancing, so on and so forth, charging across it, but no penalty to fire for obvious reasons there. However, the standing walls in various states of disrepair and ruin will provide cover as relevant to their height, so on and so forth, true line of sight. The roads, standard road rules, the hayfield there, no penalty to movement and or fire. However, of course, again, the hedges and walls surrounding that will be obstacles. So thanks very much. Join us back in a few seconds and we'll just have a quick run through with our update on the campaign for the armies and how they've fared so far going into this game.
So the Fallschirmjäger are back again for another go. Unfortunately, with their brutal defeat in the last game, they don't have enough points to actually increase and get any extra skills as part of the campaign. So the officer and his man, they received 2 points for various successes they had in the last battle, and the big 10-man squad there received 1 point. But neither of those is enough to move them up based on the campaign rules and the France rulebook.
Moving on to the British Airborne. So 3 units from the last game actually had earned enough experience points to get a bonus veteran skill. The officer and his attendant, they rolled stubborn, ironically, using the market garden special rules. So the officers, artillery, basically everything in this army apart from the recce jeep is stubborn anyway, so unfortunately that was not much game effect for that squad. The first squad in the front here, they rolled up initiative training, so basically the exact same rule as the Germans have in the German army book, and the 9-man paratrooper squad behind them rolled up tough fighter. So good, we've got quite a large number of SMGs in there, the maximum amount. However, they've now all got tough fighters, so that's a bit of a bonus. Join us back for going into the game. Hey, welcome back to the end of our turn 1. Wave 1's come in. So first thing got deployed was Rex's mortar team. Really good position for cover. Spotter is over here, the front of those 2 models. Spotter's going to have a few issues across that forest there. However, he has got some wide open spaces eventually that he'll be able to see. My deployment's forward him a wee bit, but more importantly, the mortar itself has got a really good line of sight there, basically across that killing area in the middle of the table. After that, a lot of dice got pulled for the British Airborne. This is the 9-man squad here that's got tough fighter. Came around and went up the road. The flamethrower unit here coming up the back of the church, as a 7-man squad there. The sniper team, as deployment's finished, we can see now sort of line of sight the sniper team has got. Not the greatest, some fantastic line of sight blocking terrain there, and good deployment from Rex. We've also got the officer here, the spotter for the mortar team, the 6-pounder, the MMG, depending on which angle fire comes from, may get some hard cover there, may not. The large 10-man squad, that's the one that's got the leadership training special skill. Piat team sneaking up the hedge line there. That's the forward artillery observer and the mortar there. The most exciting thing that happened was the recce jeep come bombing up the road. Good line of sight against the Fallschirmjäger squad there, exposed to them. Took the shot, got a couple of hits, and actually managed to kill one of the Fallschirmjäger. So Rex then had a lot of dice left. He was free to sort of choose where he wanted to go. The command squad's gone there. The smaller Fallschirmjäger squad is heading across from the stable there, across the hayfield towards the road. Over here, the sniper team is deployed, wary of where the other sniper is. It's got good line of sight to many targets, including a pretty good line of sight to that jeep. We'd have to see if they've got some hard cover, I suspect so. Over here we've got the largest Fallschirmjäger squad, and in reserve we have got the Panzer IV, which is in regular reserve, and in reserve and flanking we've got this Fallschirmjäger squad here. So, looking forward to turn 2. Join us back and we'll give you a roundup what happens. Hey, welcome back to the end of turn 2. So, first dice out of the bag was for for Rex, his Germans. He gave it to his Fallschirmjäger sniper team, who took a shot across the table there at the British Airborne snipers. Both teams are visible to each other thanks to the hole in the wall there. And Rex hit, failed to wound, luckily. The next dice out of the bag was for the British Airborne, and they returned in kind, and again the same thing. The sniper squad fired back, hit, but failed to wound. So therefore the snipers left with a pin, the British Airborne snipers aren't. Rex also then got another dice and moved forward his large Fallschirmjäger squad, which are approaching onto the square from this direction here. And he moved up his smaller Fallschirmjäger squad to try and dominate the square from that part of the crossroads. So in return, the MMG team opened up on the small Fallschirmjäger squad, needing quite a hefty dice roll due to the cover. However, managed to put a pin on and killed somebody, which was very fortunate indeed. The large squad here for the British Airborne again moved up. It's going to be a real bloodbath in the middle of the square here by the looks of it as turns go on. And the Piat team also creeping up towards the square, trying to dominate the roads and the crossroads there. We'll see how that goes for them. Rex quickly put on, in case of a fortunate casualty upon his Luftwaffe forward artillery observer, put the artillery observers a fire order, and that is the area that he wants his artillery fire order to come in on. And if we zoom out there, that's going to be pretty painful for the British Airborne when and if it comes in. The 6-pounder decided that whichever direction it moves in with its only 6-inch move as it manhandles that gun across, decided that maybe to try a fortuitous shot, hoping that maybe we're slightly more than 6 inches away from that. I think we're probably bang on 6 inches, but probably not a lot was to be gained. Fired across the table at the mortar team here. The mortar team, however, in hard cover, didn't do anything. The mortar team in return opened fire and ranging in now on the MMG team due to its line of sight, needing a 5 next turn. We'll see how that goes. The Fallschirmjäger, the small squad that's hit the crossroads, opened fire on the recce jeep, which then had to recce away out of sight behind the Hermitage. And the small 7-man squad of British Airborne came up around it in a bit of a conga line, out of sight to most Germans at the moment, but sort of trying to get around that building out of the difficult terrain. British Airborne officer coming around the side of that building as well, within leadership range for some of his units. The Fallschirmjäger officer team came up here to the crossroads, trying to lend his leadership value to the small units that are around there and get a better view of the battlefield to survey what his next moves are going to be. Down in this corner of the battlefield, we have got the airborne flamethrower team coming around the side of the tower on the Hermitage. We have got the 9-man squad of British Airborne, the ones are tough fighters, coming through the orchard there and coming towards the small Fallschirmjäger squad, which are over here manning this wall. So, the British Airborne as well, the mortar here, thanks to the spotter, opening up on, or trying to range in on the Fallschirmjäger mortar team, again missed, needing a 5 next turn. So it's looking at the end of turn 2 in a good position for both teams to sort of, both armies to bring some fire to bear next turn. As well as that, the British Airborne have dropped their marker in there as well, which is also a tasty position should it actually come in on request. So the dice rolls for the start of turn 3 are going to be really important in regards to the artillery barrages when they come in, and the results of that are going to be very important as well. So on a bit of a knife edge here, thanks very much. Join us back now for the end of turn 3 and we'll let you know what's going on. Thanks for watching, guys. Hey, welcome back. Couple of dice into turn 3. So the British forward artillery observers barrage did not come in. It was delayed. Left the marker exactly where it was. Unfortunately for the British, not much can be said the same for the Fallschirmjägers, because it came in with devastating effect. So first thing it did is it put 5 pins onto the MMG. It hit the 7-man squad here. It did 3 casualties, 4 pins. Because of the template, it also therefore glanced the sniper unit. 4 pins, killing a man, and luckily passed a stubborn test. The airborne jeep as well had some pins, but it also got clipped by the template too. It's now immobilized for the rest of the game, so it won't be going anywhere, and it has 3 pins on it as well. The 6-pounder unfortunately also got pummeled. It went down. I need to get the dice for that and put it back onto it. I just moved it away, and it's got 6 pins on it as well as losing 2 guys, so down to -1 for leadership and so on. Luckily, due to the Army Special Rules, it too was stubborn and passed its test. The officer teams come flying back in there at a run to lend its leadership to the situation. And we have now going on what can be only described as the Battle of the Fountain. The Fallschirmjäger, small units run in here and opened up onto the large paratrooper squad here, putting 2 pins onto that. Sorry, putting 1 pin onto that. It had a pin from last turn. The Panzerfaust split fire and had a shot at the Piat team. Luckily missing for the Piat team. The sniper as well tried using its sniper scope against that Piat team as well, and found that it was just within its 12-inch range, so therefore couldn't fire. It's got a fire order on there. And of course we have got the other large Fallschirmjäger squad coming in. So far this turn, the flamethrowers advanced through the ruined wall there, tried to flame the spotter for the mortar, just out of range by a few millimeters. That happens, and yeah, we're a couple of dice into turn 3, already shaping up for what will only go in the regimental diaries as the battle for the water fountain of Mottola. And join us back and we'll finish the end of turn roundup and we'll see how this goes. Hey, welcome back to the end of turn 3. So the exciting developments. The small Fallschirmjäger squad there was wiped out in close combat by the large paratrooper unit, who then rolled enough to consolidate into cover around the wall and over the rubble. The large Fallschirmjäger unit advanced. The majority of them are behind an obstacle or hard cover though, not directly behind it. So when they brought fire to bear on the large paratrooper unit, we had some hard cover and luckily walked a lot of it off, but we do have 3 pins at the end of the battle because we also took some fire from the officer unit, which advanced in a very withdrawy type manner and opened fire, causing a casualty. Well done to the officer for a sharpshooting. Over here, another small Fallschirmjäger squad advanced to the edge of the tree line. They attempted to open fire on the flamethrower unit. However, once they realised only the officer would be able to see because he's directly at the corner of that wood, the rest can't see models on the other side of the wood. They then redirected their fire onto this paratrooper unit, which was slightly further back at the time, and put a casualty and a pin on them. The paratrooper unit managed to shrug off that pin, move forward, and in return put 1 pin on that Fallschirmjäger unit. The spotter, deciding that discretion was a better part of valour, having played an excellent and authoritative part of the battle so far, withdrew down the hand railing the wall, and hopefully is a little bit safer in that position than when he was up here directly in front of that large paratrooper unit. Over this side we have the British forward artillery observer, again deciding that he'd called in and his coordinates were good, just the fire order itself was delayed due to something else happening in another corner of the battlefield. He's withdrawn out of sight there, and the Piat team also out of sight around the edge of the building, waiting further orders because we have advance information that the Germans may bring that Panzer IV to bear that they encountered at the outskirts of Mottola in the last battle. So, Join us back here for the developments in turn 4, and let's see how it goes. Hey, welcome to the start of turn 4. So the British artillery barrage came in, really sort of quite evened up the battle so far, because hit multiple units in the open and templates overlying other units. So first of all, Rex, do you want to roll a dice? So your sniper team lost 50% after going down, 3 pins on it, so you're needing a 7. They are all good. They fight on. So your large Fallschirmjäger unit gain 50% casualties, 2 pins, needing 8. Wrong, needing 10 because they're Fallschirmjäger, they're stubborn. Easy as. And final one for Rex. Okay. So officer +2, so he's got 9 pins, +2 because he's a veteran. So you need 3, Rex. No, unfortunately the officer team's gone. Small pins on the mortar as well, and unfortunately for the British, the range on the mortar barrage area of effect, so 4 more pins on that paratrooper unit there as well. So we'll just tidy up after that and we'll see you back in a few moves. Hey, welcome back to the end of turn 4. So we already summarised the artillery strike in this start of this turn and its devastating effects. Other things that happened, a lot of consolidation on both sides really. First of all, the large paratrooper unit here rallied, only took 3 pins off though, unfortunately. The smaller paratrooper unit here came around the edge of the Hermitage, advanced, managed to put a pin on the Fallschirmjäger squad by the fountain there, which is always handy. No kills though. The officer turned commander, not very inspiring leadership this turn. Both the MMG and the anti-tank gun tried to rally. Both of them rolled an 11 and a 12, and the anti-tank gun fired to no effect, and the MMG also rolled an 11, and so it failed to rally also. So both ending up going down. The over here, I guess the big news was the squad with Tough Fighter of paratroopers, Tough Fighter due to campaign experience points, charged the empty space that was the Fallschirmjäger unit. However, that didn't come off quite like it sounded, because the 5-man Fallschirmjäger squad beat the paratrooper unit, and therefore it gained some experience points there. The paratrooper unit faded away and dispersed. The Fallschirmjäger squad then consolidated over the other side of the wood and then charged the flamethrower unit, only to fluff its rolls in close combat, and the flamethrower unit ended up winning the close combat. So basically a bit of a topsy-turvy round here for dice rolls, because also Rex failed his reserve rolls for both the 6-man Fallschirmjäger squad and the inexperienced Panzer IV, so both remain off the table when he really would like them on. Apart from that, a bit of a round of consolidation, except for that quite important combat that we saw there. A bit of a devastating round for artillery again, so let's move on to turn 5 and see what happens. See you soon. Hey, welcome back to the end of turn 5. So, big news is Rex's Panzer IV firstly came on pretty early in the turn, came forward, shot at this large paratrooper squad here, put a pin on, no casualties luckily enough. The inexperienced adding the extra to the dice was a bit of a telling factor. The flamethrower squad that was here ran forward and tried to flame the artillery observer. He failed to hit. The artillery observer assaulted him in return, and now there is no flamethrower squad. and Rex's Fallschirmjäger squad also came on just prior to that, and eliminated the aid to the flamethrower as well, reducing the squad to 1 and making it easier for that spotter to that artillery observer to destroy them. Over here we've got the recce jeep went into ambush. The platoon commander went forward to try and use his leadership. Unfortunately, he was just out of range of that large squad to use his leadership. They basically tried a bold move. They tried to move across and move into open ground at point blank range and shoot at the sniper. However, due to the leadership not being where it needed to be and having 5 pins, they failed that, stood exactly where they were. The small paratrooper squad went running forward into the open, shot at the Fallschirmjäger squad hiding behind the fountain. Hard cover was telling factor though, with down only 1 hit for a pin, nothing else. The mortar here finally ranged in on the Fallschirmjäger mortar, hit, killing 2 guys, putting several pins on it. However, the Fallschirmjäger mortar man that was left rallied and managed to remove all his pins as well with a great roll. So he's back in the game for at least another turn. Hopefully we'll draw an extra dice for Rex. The Piat team here, still in ambush out of sight there. We'll see how that goes. Down here, the platoon commander, before he moved, we used his leadership bonus. And finally the 6-pounder rallied, and also the MMG rallied as well, removing all their pins with some decent rolls, as did the sniper. So, plenty going on here still. We're set up for a really great 6th turn. We'll see how that goes, and the longer the game goes on, the more desperate the fighting's going to get. At the moment, the dice standing are as follows. The British Airborne have 3 dice, and the Germans have 2 dice. And we'll see how it goes. Join us back here for the end of turn 6. Hey, welcome back to the end of turn 6. So, we've got a lot going on here. First of all, the MMG and the gun opened up, the anti-tank gun opened up, basically trying to take on the Fallschirmjäger squad here, prior to the friendly unit being in front of it. Did not achieve much. A pin though, however, which might turn very important. This paratrooper squad came across up the wall here, and basically closed in very, very close. The master plan that I put into play could go either way, to be quite honest. We'll have to see how that goes. However, plenty of pins on the Fallschirmjäger unit, so let's see what happens there. Zooming back from the battle at the fountain, the sniper team went down, and the Panzer IV opened up again on the same paratrooper units. Pretty much the same result actually thus far. The lieutenant run forwards to lend his leadership to this large paratrooper squad here as they rallied. They achieved that, removed some pins down to 2 now. Not quite as good a roll as they really wanted, to be honest. The recce jeep sitting here in ambush, achieving not a lot except for staying in some really good hard cover from the rest of the board. As is the forward artillery observer there. The mortar finally, after having ranged in last turn, dispatched the last Fallschirmjäger manning that mortar, killed him outright, so therefore the mortar and the spotter are now gone from back there in the church and the wall respectively. Down here, Rex's artillery observer came onto the road and took a shot at the squad down the road there of paratroopers, and the Fallschirmjäger squad on the left, as we can see it now on the road, also did the same. However, that squad being obscured mostly by the wall was its saving. The hard cover bonus making extremely hard to hit, and I think from both squads we didn't achieve much that turn. However, I'm sure Rex has got a master plan for them coming up. So we rolled the dice, and we're going to turn 7. So it's really poised, so the battle of the fountain inside Mottola will continue, and join us back for the first dice pull for turn 7, because it's going to be a really important one. welcome back. Here's a dice pull. First dice, really important, turn 7, the last turn of the game. Go on, Rex, reach in and pull us a winner. Ah, dodgy. He's got something up his sleeve. Thank you. Join us back for more highlights. Right, first dice of the game. The smaller paratrooper squads assaulted into the Fallschirmjäger. 2 wounds done. Rex in reply with 2 men left. Okay, what have you got? Have you got an assault weapon there?
2 men left, one's got an assault weapon, so we'll say red is the tough fighter due to assault weapon.
Okay, go for it, Rex.
So needing 5s to kill. Oh.
Alright.
That's it, so this squad is wiped out.
FJ squad's gone, and another kill dice for the British Airborne. Join us back soon.
Okay, so next dice out of the bag is for British Paras, and Dan has decided to shoot his Piet team against the mighty Panzer IV, not so mighty at this point. So are they in range, Dan?
Yeah, as I planned, they are point blank. No need to take a Tiger Fear test because I'm firing directly at you, so got a fire order on there. It's point blank, no other modifiers, just needing a 2. Hit. Okay, penetration roll. Yes. Alright, so just had to check the damage value, pen value of a Piet, so it's +5, so 10 is a total, so it does penetrate armor 9. So, rolling on the damage result, here we go. Oh! Knocked out. Alright. God bless that Piet team. Bring up the Piet! Hey, welcome back to end of turn 7 and the end of the game. So, we've shown you some of the highlights already. Things that happened after that. Basically, most of the British Airborne Army could no longer see any enemy forces. So most of them went into ambush. Of course, if somehow a lucky shot come in, I can always flip them to down. Wasn't a cheesy, gamey move. Might have been clever, but I don't really play like that. But rather the fact that I just couldn't see anybody. I was hoping the mortar spotter might manage to get a shot behind the Hermitage at one of the units over there, but he also couldn't see either. So Rex moved up his squads here. So the artillery observer moved to the edge of that forest and took a shot. Unfortunately, not quite what he needed. And again, with the FJ squad, the results were the same. However, good mathematics from Rex. He opted to shoot at the large squad in the open with hard cover rather than the smaller squad here. Played percentages. To be honest, is probably the right thing to do, because the small squad, if I'd chosen to go down from my ambush order, would have been at least +3 modifiers down and small team, whereas the team over here was definitely hard cover, but I couldn't go down because he had an order dice on him. So clever use of play, didn't quite work out for him.
Okay, final score, 7 Fallschirmjäger units dead, 2 British Airborne. So a pretty definitive victory there to the British Airborne. Good guys won, well done. What do you think, Dan? How do you think you went in the game overall? Got any points of learning for next time, even though you pretty comprehensively beat me?
Yeah, look, for a start, I think 7-2 was very fortunate. Going into turn 7, it was 4-2, so I was only just in a winning position there. I think that score belies how close the game was, because going into turn 7, say, with only 2 dice, it could have gone either way. It was really important to get the first dice pull, and I was really lucky. I think I got about 4 dice in a row there at the start of that turn at least. You know, and that was the advantage for having 10 dice in the bag to 6 going into turn 7. And I bet on that, so I made sure that there was nobody in ambush or anything like that, or down or anything like that going into this turn. So, look, I think in some ways I take this work, other ways it didn't really. Like, I got really funneled in this area here. Last turn, I accidentally moved these guys here like a buffoon into the line of fire that I wanted this anti-tank gun. That would have been good line of fire for your Panzer IV. I was lucky to get away with that, with being able to activate the Piet early this turn. As well as that, I think you were really hamstrung by. I mean, you had 2 units in reserve, including your Panzer IV, which you got a lot of. You know, you got a lot of points sunk into that, a lot of killing power, and they didn't come on to turn 5. The Fallschirmjäger is just bad rolling, but I think maybe an experience thing, because you double punished when the Panzer IV did come on. The -1 hamstrung you so much to its shooting as well. It got there late, and then its shooting was much more ineffective. That, you know, probably a bit of analysis there. Is it worth it? You've certainly got Tiger Fear special rule is sort of paying for itself in the games thus far, but I wonder if Tiger Fear is really worth the cost of a Panzer IV. You know, you really want to be killing things, I think. So I'm interested to know what you think, Rex. So let's see what you think, eh? Alright, so what do you think, Rex?
Yeah, I got a lot of bad dice rolls in this game for sure, and as you say, hampered by the fact that I outflanked with 1 squad, and then the Panzer IV was inexperienced as well, so that definitely hindered its ability to come on. So yeah, 2 MMGs, so that's a lot of dice in terms of shooting, but the fact that I missed out on, well, I think 3 rounds of shooting those, so that's something like 30 dice for possibilities. And then when I did roll, I rolled really poorly, 1s and 2s and 3s, so that was shocking as well. But generally I think I don't make too many mistakes apart from those couple of things. I think again I'm probably a bit slow to get into the battle, probably a bit slow to rally, but all in all, yeah, I think the dice count also played quite a big part in the final outcome. So yeah, next battle maybe the Fallschirmjäger might drop back to being true paratroopers and leave that tank at home and bring a few more buddies to help them out. So all in all, though, a fantastic game, fantastic terrain. Thanks very much, Dan, for your blood, sweat and tears in that. And so this brings to a close the second game in our campaign between the British Paras and the German Fallschirmjäger. So now I believe we might be moving on to something even more hilly and even more terrainful than this. See you back soon.